Right, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to DT Koi on the Saturday Night Live, which now is fortnightly, which I've put a banner on my thing. And I hope everyone is having a great weekend up to date, and hopefully everyone's going to enjoy the bank holiday weekend because it's an extra day off work. And we've got a live guest sat in the back studio waiting to come on. We've had a bit of a quick natter before coming on. And then I'll let him come on. We'll have a quick chat, and then I'll take it from there. Well, hello there, Senior.
Hello, Junior. How are you doing?
Not so bad yourself.
Yeah, not bad. Busy day. As you know, I've been down to Mark's Country Cruise Open Day today, which was great. Met some lovely people down there. Had a look at Mark's stock. He's got some cracking stock down there, by the way. So get over there and check Mark out, if you excuse the plug.
Well, one of those.
Sorry, Dave.
Sorry. Yeah, you carry on, Senior.
Yeah. How's your pond?
It's not too bad. I've got a video coming out about it tomorrow. So I don't want to say too much because then it'll spoil the video. But there's sort of two bits of video going into one because I did the Edinburgh trip. So I had to put the Edinburgh trip first and then the other one after. So it's two mixed into one. But it's a good watch, and there's a bit of if you know, with this hair, it's like but, oh dear, that's not good, is it? So yeah, I take it, like I say, it was a great day out then for you all today then.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Stuart Caxton was down there talking about koi health and procedures that they teach actually on how to operate on koi and everything, which it's quite interesting that.
Well, it's one of them. It's I've got a video coming up soon when we get a few more in to how to scrape a koi. I know I've already touched upon it before, but this is the most time of the year where the parasites are becoming more active, which you've probably had a big discussion on about today anyway, haven't you?
Oh, we did, yeah. He actually had slides that he was showing, passing his phone around because we didn't have a video screen there, showing people what to look for, you know, Costia, Trick, Chilidanella, White Spot, the two different flukes as well. That was a good watch. But yeah,
because I speak to him every now and again. Stuart, I think he's called. And He's a really nice bloke, and he's got a lot of time for everyone. And when me and him start talking, it's near enough 2 to 3 hour conversation at a time, all the time. So
I know that. Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a rush journey home because you know, he's so interesting and he puts across so many points that you just can't get away. But as promised, I got back on time, so here we are with my glass.
That's the main thing. I thought that were going to be alcoholic drink, but you don't drink, do you? So milk it is.
No, I don't.
You just need some cookies now to dip in it, don't you?
Well, I'm fat enough as it is.
Well, we'll rattle through a few before we get on to topics. So we've got an evening all from Budget Pond Keeper.
Budget, how you doing?
Evening all from Simon Shears.
Sorry.
An evening from Carlos C. Scrag. Evening. You know, you see now, Scrag. This is the thing. Which day are you on about? The junior or the senior?
Yeah.
Hey.
In case in case you get confused, I'm the senior one.
You cheeky sod. Like I said, your mug is in the process of then being sent out to you because I've used the mug company and they're going to send it straight to you. So that should be with you. I think it might be the 14th, or it might come beforehand, but you know, delivery services are always up and down. We got a
Cool.
evening, everyone, from John Cope.
Hi, Joan.
Hello. Hope everyone is well from West Brom Coy.
PDP, how you doing?
And an evening all from Andy's Coy Puddle. Like I say,
Andy.
yours is in the post, going to you, the exact same as Scrag. So when it gets to you, it should be around 16th, I believe. I don't know why it takes so long, but it might come beforehand. But if it don't get there, let me know. Because I've had that before as well. And ANC, say good evening, Coy friends.
Evening.
Adam saying hi all.
Adam.
Carol saying good evening all. Good evening,
Hello,
Carol. Hopefully you've managed to get on top of that poem that you still had with your shower. So hopefully you've got on top of that. Fingers crossed. And
yeah, all the best, Carol, my dear. How you doing?
And then evening from Amanda Smith. And then I'm just Scrag says both. So he's saying evening to Dave, meaning both of us.
Evening, Craig.
Aaron, hi pal. Sorry I'm late. Well, it's one of them. Stop playing Call of Duty before the live comes on. That's all I can say to you, Aaron. Oh dear.
Nice one, Aaron.
And then Seaver's Punt, evening all. Evening.
Evening.
And then yeah. So the first topic of the night was what do people look out for Coy? And obviously, you know, just join along in the comments. And obviously, because that's what it's about. What do people look out for in Coy? Do you just go on your colour? You know, just drop it down below. What do you go for, Dave, when you're going out to buy a new Coy? What do you look for?
Well, obviously, the thing I don't look at first is pattern. I look at skin quality, luster, shape of the body, shape of the pecs, and everything. And then after that, I look for the pattern to see if I like it or Lynn likes it, because she generally has a say in what Coy I pick. But I'm not going to show fish. That's my choice. I mean, I know people do, and I know ANC have got some cracking fish. So all power to them. What about you, Dave?
Well, for me, it used to be, until I got more into it, it used to be just sort of the colour and the style. But now it's more of the body shape to, you know, to see how well it might develop. And then from there, then it goes on the skin luster, and then just to see what sort of, you can sort of see what pattern might be coming, like in a shower, where the sumi is, where the benny is, and see where you think the fish might go, but it still might not even go to where you think it's going to go, because we've got one in our pond now, which I think you might have seen, the Deutsche Achiever.
Yeah.
And I might, if I might do, I don't know, because of the way that Coy is, and it actually has the perfect love heart shape on it. I might even try and take that one to a show just to see what might happen, because it's totally different.
Yeah,
and you can say to Coy Judge, look, you can love that one, because it's literally got, it's honestly, it's got a proper love art like that on its side.
Yeah,
you might have seen it in one of Adam Byer's tanks.
Possibly, yeah.
And then ANC to join the minis. I want all body, skin, and pattern. They want it all.
Fair play.
But if you could only start with one ANC, which one would you actually go for? That's just my partner answering a phone. So if you could only pick one, which one would you pick first? Or is that the order you'd have it? Body, skin, then pattern. And then I've just got the ANC there. Well, for Andy's Coy Puddle, certainly does have some cracking fish. Could be doing with being a bit bigger, though. Well, the thing is, with the size tank you've got, everyone starts somewhere. And that's the other bit that we're getting onto is, do people prefer to buy them as fry? Do you prefer to buy them where they're about, you know, let's say 15 to 30 cm, or do you prefer to get them at 50 plus cm, where it's near enough, you know, finished article? should we say? It's never, obviously, koi's never finished, is it? Because it can always grow a bit more and develop a bit more. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, personally, I prefer to buy Tosai and grow them on. But that's just my personal opinion. I mean, I know some people like to, particularly if they're going to show, they want to buy a fish of a decent size to condition it, because obviously you need to condition and feed them up right and condition them for the shows. But my personal choice is Tosai, and I've got 54 fish out there in the quarantine, the grow on, and the main pond. So yeah, Tosai definitely. As you would have seen from Adam Byers the other week.
Like I say, you've definitely got a pick of a bunch there, haven't you?
Oh yes, yeah.
Because you've definitely got you've got you tick all the boxes because you've got like fry or like is it 3 to 4 inch, and then you've got like you say, then you've got your Tosai, and then you've got your big ones in your main pond. So you've go through all the stages and you've got them all.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I mean, everyone to their own. I mean, there's no right or wrong. I don't think, and I'm not knocking anybody that buys big fish. That's their choice, But my personal choice is I like to grow them on and watch them develop. But as I said, that's my choice.
Well, to be fair, I'm sort of the same as you, but I've got one. Well, that Deutsche Chiba, I can't remember the other one. They're only about that big. And then I've got some that are like 30, 32, 33 cm, where I measured them last. And then I've also got 2 that are 54 and 56 cm last time I measured them. So I go through all the variants myself in one pond.
Yeah.
And then like ANC have just put there just before it goes past, if it does. We like to buy big, but we have got 3 little ones to pick up soon. It's going to be strange to at 26 cm one and at 33 cm. Well, they're definitely going to be very small in your pond. That's all I could say with all them big ones. So where do you get them from, ANC, if you don't mind us asking? So that it might be a shout out to a different koi dealer, because I only used one, but when I saw them fish at Adam Byers and everything that is got set up there, and you can see what stages they're going to be at, especially when you saw that them breed stock he's got. Wow. If the videos that we don't do it justice, do they, how massive it is.
Well, I mean, Oakley and Opaline are scary. They're scary big. And Adam said that obviously spawning that, he can't get it out and hand strip her for argument's sake. She's just too big. How would you support a fish that big? 95 cm was she?
There were, I think she was 95, and then he's got another one, hasn't he? That's over a metre long.
That's Opaline, isn't it?
Yeah, because that one's over a metre long, isn't it? I think what was it, a metre and 3, something like that. He said
something like that, yeah.
Because at that point I went to toilet, so I missed that part at 2, and that's why it was I didn't catch that bit on film. But there were a few
all the other ones in the female tank there, because Adam separates his females in one pond and his males in another. All the other ones in there were big fish, weren't they?
Yeah. And then we've also got someone in the background, but I can't. There we go. He's got his picture on now, and said 105 cm.
Yeah.
And here we go, La Twisted One.
Thanks,
See, you don't need an intro, do you? Just La Twisted One. There he is.
Oakley was 105 centimeters when she was bought, and Opaline is 95 cm. Opaline's in Makashi.
There you go. We've just had it in comments from Umbercoy, 105, and then ANC said 105. So there you go, bang on the money. Because I couldn't remember, because I had to that to toilet when they were talking about it. I'm like, damn, should I just give someone my phone to record, shouldn't I? But well, needs a must, aren't they? So you've been up to much then, Vince?
Though still not up to much. Me hands are still up, so I've been put under strict instructions not to do anything.
No, you shouldn't,
yeah,
mate. Take it easy.
And it's driving me absolutely fucking nuts because I have got stuff that needs doing and getting on with. Yeah, that's when it starts playing with you up here. But,
yeah, but if you look at the other side of it, you get to relax a little bit more, and also you get to just view your koi from a different angle.
I view my koi from every angle possible anyway, you know, and fucking hell, slow down and rest when you're dead, for Christ's sake, because you only live once.
Yeah, but you get what I mean. So you get to chill
I
out,
know.
and they
I know
and
what.
they
I know
don't
what
see you
you're
as
saying.
much, are they? So you get to see them more naturally. Oh,
Yeah,
and then my dog's deciding to sit on me.
you know what they say about idle hands are the devil's playthings and so forth, you know.
I don't know. So what are your other plans then? When obviously you can do them.
Well, all my pipe work's done apart from a 15 mil cold feed to the growing on tank, so no more pipe work to fucking do. But I've got to start getting the IBC tank ready for fry, and I got a little visit tomorrow. I'm going out on my part, but we're going to be popping out to Bracknell. And then Tuesday, I'm down at New Forest Koi recording Tosai selection for them. So that's going to be fun.
That'll be interesting watching.
And a number koi says, "Congratulations on the 2K cupcake."
Yeah.
Thanks very
Right
much.
on
And yes, I mean, I didn't recognize the name, but as soon as I clicked on the channel, because he's only just started the channel, that's one of the guys from the Adam Bio visit last weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Aaron.
That's the one.
Because Aaron normally has a picture of a platinum organ on his name, but now he started his koi tuber channel.
Yeah.
So
welcome
if you guys
to
haven't checked it out, then go and check out his channel.
To the Club Mush.
Well, you've got to plug one another, haven't you? So if you haven't already checked him out, I think he's only just started up, so he might have one video, but I'm sure he'll do more and more and more. We've all got to start somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. And if you haven't got the confidence to put the camera in your face, then shorts and behind the camera is the perfect way to go. Look at Andy ... Andy's koi puddle, you know. He's still putting videos out, even though he's got writing going across the screen. So, you know, he's still making content, so it still makes him one of us, you know. So it doesn't matter whether you're behind the camera or in front of the camera.
Well, it just shows a different pond,
then you get my vote and you get my support, because it does. When you first start doing this, it does seem a bit daunting when you first start doing it, and it does seem weird when you're first picking the camera up, especially when you're talking to the camera and people walk past looking at you as if you're next level fucking strange. But you know, you get used to it. But yeah, the more channels that we can get going, the better it's going to be for not just the community but the hobby in general, you know what I mean? So hey.
Oh, for God's sake. Simon, no. I've just seen his cut. No. There we go. Because I can't. I've had to time you out, mate, because that comment, no. But yeah, sorry, keep going, Vince. Sorry, I just had to say that. Well, it's one of them. The bigger the koi community becomes, the better it is. Well, like I said, when we all went to Adam Byers, it was just a nice group of us getting together, having a laugh. And it was just great because, like I said, I've been wanting to meet you for absolutely ages anyway, didn't I?
And it was an absolutely cracking day, you know, and so was the New Forest one. And that was how it should be on both occasions, you know. No,
there needs to be something like that, but a bit further up. Can't all have it all down south.
Don't you start talking about up. Don't go there. Don't go there.
Hey, we'll have less. Come on, we'll lie.
Especially with that baby face still showing through.
Oh God. What are we on about, senior or junior? That's what I said. Says it evening, Dave. I went, which Dave, me or that Dave? That's why I said, just go be senior, junior. So it makes it easier.
No.
It's one of them. It's just, you know, the more we can, like I say, even if you don't want to put a camera in your face, if you have it the other way around, as long as you're still talking.
It's PB and RB.
Yeah.
Oh,
in that Pinko.
Yeah, I see.
So sorry, guys. I'm going to have to use your one for this one as well. Cough. Cough. Oh God. You know, but like you say, if you don't want to put a camera in your face, then like you say, as long as you're filming your pond and what you do, it's a different pond to look at. You know, because like you've got all different types of pond, haven't you, Vince? You've got like a long end, then you've got where you've just built your smaller grow on one, then you've got an IBC one, then your fiberglass one. So you've got basically all the options about, haven't you, really?
Yeah, but I do sacrifice a lot to be able to have it, though.
Yeah, because you sacrifice your back garden, don't you?
Well, it's not just that, you know. I mean, what money I do get, you know, a lot of it goes on that.
Yeah.
So,
well, we were talking about that today, me and our lass. I suppose that's the other thing is no matter what you're buying, or no matter what your budget is, then you live within your budget and you just appreciate what you got. Because like you've even said before, sometimes just sitting back and relaxing by your pond after a bad day, stressful day, it's just so peaceful. Just listening to that water and just looking at your fish, it's just unreal.
oh yeah, definitely, 100%.
And then Andy's koi puddle just put. Hang on, because I'm just trying to get it down here. Is put Vince, one of us, love art, smiley face, appreciated me. I will appear one day, just not yet. Smiley face. Well, you can make it even quicker if you want, Andy. You can pop on out, dog. You can pop on live.
You can get those signs out the way and come and join us, Andy, just for 5 minutes, and then putting the camera in front of your face to do a video for the rest of your subscribers won't be so hard, will it?
Yeah, because
anyway, don't push people if they don't want to do it.
Well, I'm just putting the link.
At the end of the day, it does have to be a personal choice, and no one should feel pressured into doing anything, especially when it comes to YouTube.
No, it's one of them. You do what you want when you want, and that's the thing with filming. You can pick it up when you want, or if you don't want to pick it up and you want to relax, then you don't have to film. You just put content out when you've got it, or when you think you want to put it out. Whereas I'm putting one out tomorrow. When there's no effing and jeffing on my channel, which I've already spoke to you about because that's for your channel. But if I could, because I was with thing I built, I was effing and jeffing, and I nearly threw the bloody thing over the fence. I was getting that annoyed with it. And then our last come on, we said, "What's up with you?" I went, "Don't, just don't, love. It's going, it's effing going now. Why? What's up? I'll help you." And they've, chilled me out a bit, and then I got it all done. Thank God, because it is quite nice when it's all done. But you'll see the video tomorrow. See, I'm plugging myself here, and it's on my own live.
It's your channel, isn't it? You know.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, even from the inception of my channel 2 years ago, I haven't changed from day dot in the way I do my videos and how I show things, because if I didn't, it wouldn't be me. I wouldn't be giving you who I am. Can you see what I mean? So
you've got to be.
And I've always stated that right from day dot.
Well, you've got to be yourself, because if you're someone else, but be acting like in front of the camera for YouTube, but then you meet in person, like, well, yeah, but you're different from when I watch you on here to what you are. It's like, oh, well, like you say, you've seen me, and you've said to me like, oh, Dominic, just look at your camera. Stop like looking like this or like this or like that. It's things like that you get from other people that have done it, and the more experience you get, then the more relaxed you become when you're doing your videos.
Oh yeah.
And it's the easiest way, like for me, if you're doing the filming and you've got young kids, you just think that you're just filming your family on a day out, and you just treat it like that.
There's loads of ways of getting around it mentally, There's the one where you treat the phone like whatever you're using to do your videoing, you treat that as if that's your best mate or your mum, or you know what I mean. So you're not actually looking and talking to a camera. You're actually talking to your mate or your missus, and that way you can get rid of that. What's the word I'm looking for?
You get rid of
the inhibitions that you get when I mean at the moment, because I've got this dry skin at the moment, I get a bit subconscious when I'm looking at the camera. And if you can physically shut off up here, well, hang on a minute, that's not a camera, that's so and so and such and such. You can then it becomes more natural then as well. And that's why I don't chop and change and edit bits that I record. I will, and that's how I've always done things. I'll pick the phone up, I'll do a bit of recording, I'll put the phone down, and I'll get on, because I'm not one of these. I can't stick a phone to my shoulder and continue working, because all that shit takes. I'll be totally honest. All that shit takes editing, because the amount of time, Dave will tell you, the amount of time it takes me to do some jobs. I don't want to be sitting there for hours on end in front of a computer editing down, and then thinking, well, I've edited this, but that doesn't sound right, so I've got to re-record it and then edit. No, so I pick it up, I put it down, I use one app, and I stitch them all together, put in a couple of transitions, I watch it back, and if there's anything that needs writing in, I'll write it in, I convert it and send it, and that's it for me, because I'm not technology driven, and two, I cannot be fucking. I've got better things to keep myself occupied than sitting in front of a computer, cutting and clipping and checking and cutting and clip. No, and I don't knock anyone that does that, because that takes another level of mental integrity. Something that I just haven't got. And again, that's another thing that makes everyone different.
Yeah, but everyone does either a bit of editing. Like with mine, I might, if there's something in there that I think, oh God, no, that bit doesn't look right, I can, just make it right. It's how you want to do your own videos, the way you want to do them. And like you say, you just put it all together. Yep, that, and then watch it. Yep, that looks great. Yep, a few bits done, out. And that's what oh dear, get down, dog. And then Umbercoy says, tell you what, Vince, I hold you on a high regard after seeing you just leaving the community at Adam Byers to help new people select fish and giving them such a service. Why ain't your business? I think it means why are you not in business?
When it ain't your business. Well, because I love koi. I get up first thing in the morning, I come down, I let the dog out, I take my tablets, and then first thing I do is I check on my fish.
Yeah.
And they keep me going, as well as Susan and my mum and my kids. They keep me going. They are my.
They're your world, mate.
Well, it's not so much what. they're not just my safe place. They're my passion.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I can talk for hours about what I like and what I don't like, and stuff that's been told me, whether it be from Adam, from Mark at Cuttlebrook, from Peter Waddington, from other YouTubers that I've spoken to, people that I've learned stuff from just by having a conversation, you know, and general conversation and everyday manners cost fuck all. And at the end of the day, I was helping the boys that were there on the day out go through fish anyway, and they'd finished. I was still stood there, and they asked if I wouldn't mind, you know, and no, I don't. And what was nicer was the fact that Adam and Amanda had the confidence in me to leave me to be able to net, bowl, and even bag and box for customers for them. That just blows it away in itself. Can you see what I mean?
And I think you also converted some people there, Vince, that day, didn't you? That lady and the gentleman that you helped pick the fish for, and you advised them on a vast array of subjects, from what I could gather. So
that couple, they were like a pair of sponges, and it was lovely to see the young lady. I say young lady, but you know what I mean, because you could see it was all new to her. It's the first time she'd been somewhere like that. I mean, they'd spent a good time building their pond, and not an overly massive pond, but they built 1,600 gallon pond, and they were going to get their first fish to put in there to kick things off. And just that enthusiasm from someone new is what fires me as well, because we need new blood into the hobby. Otherwise, it's just going to go stagnant. And whether that's teenagers to sub-adults to older people, you know, if someone's going to come up to me and show an interest in something that I'm passionate about, then you've got my attention.
Yeah.
Can you see what I mean? And that's what it boils down to. But like I say, most of all, for me, it was the fact that both Adam and Amanda had the confidence to leave me to help customers.
And I must say, you were actually in your element there. You looked the part. Everybody hung on every word you were saying.
But I don't want that. I don't want people hanging on me every word. But you know, it's just me. It's just what I'm passionate about, and that's koi, keeping koi, growing koi, spawning koi, anything to do with koi. And I'm happy as a pig in shit. And like I say, if people want to ask me questions, I will give them the best of my knowledge. It's not possibly not the right knowledge in some facets, but that's just knowledge that I've either gleaned from stuff that I've done wrong or stuff that I've been told. But on top of that, like I've said, and I will always say, every pond and every pond keeper is different. So every scenario has a multitude facet of variables for each situation. So, you know what I mean?
Well, that's why
at the end of the day, if you're sorry, Dave, but if you're 100% totally unsure, go to different options, listen to what they say, and then work out which bits all match up together, and then make your own decision. But failing, always read the packet.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Sorry,
where
Dave.
that's why I've got the grow on pond. Hang on, senior. That's why. Well, it's my drop tank in room, so I can get the kids enthusiastic with fish, and I've got 2 koi in there as well, which they like feeding. And it's small little baby steps. So then, obviously, then my kids can get into a hobby which I like as well, and they, that's what my aim is, to eventually get them to be koi keepers themselves. Whether I end up having another pond. Less in kitchen, another pond in garden that the kids like, then it's one of them, isn't it? And she just goes, no. But if the kids want it, the kids get it.
Well, you know what you do, don't you? Well, I can't believe you haven't thought of this already. You're a welder fabricator, are you not?
Yes.
Yes. You have a fish tank that you have koi in, have you not?
Yes.
Yes. Well, get rid of the few tropical fish and turn that into a sky pond for your main pond.
No. I've just got a no. Well, it's an idea.
Dave, I'm trying for you. I'm trying to give you different ideas.
Well, it will work if I can get that one. I got given off a neighbour, which they were like us. They recycle everything that's possible, so it's out of glass that they've recycled, and there's a few bits that if I put it on my main pond, I'd have to take out. But it's one of them. For me, I recycle as much as I can, like you do, Vince. Like all my
If you've got the opportunity to put a glass window in that sleeper pond of yours, you go for it, boy.
What? I would do, but mine's a woven liner, you see, so I can't, because I'm not going to take the risk of it leaking. Not saying it would, but I don't want that risk.
Yeah,
I was going to say.
Yeah. The only way you'd be able to get around that is if
it's an angle frame, isn't it?
Let me think on that one.
Go on, senior.
What?
He's forgotten you.
You forgot now.
Yeah, he's forgotten now.
No, I think you're on about ponds. I mean, I've now got 4 in the back garden now. The quarantine, Lynn's little shabunking one, the grow on, and the main pond. And who's going to say it's not stopped yet? If you know what I mean. And she's listening.
Dave, you've got a pond, an IBC tank, and 2 puddles.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you're right there. But they're my puddles.
But we all start somewhere, Vince. I'm sure you might have started with a small puddle.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've had many a small puddle in the years over the years that I've had ponds, and I've also made ponds out of some weird things and all. But
well, like your main pond up front, where you just basically made it out of scrap brick and stuff.
Yeah, just literally broken up patio slab, dry stone walled, and then filled with dirt in between the middle. And we first tried that one out when we built my best mate Brad's pond. It was his second ever pond. First one was made out of bits of fucking pallet wood, and that rotted pretty fast. But at the time his interest in the hobby exponentiated, and he wanted a bigger pond. So we ended up building his second pond that way, and that was above the ground by about a foot, and it was down by about 3 foot, and that held 2,700 gallons.
Well, that's not bad going then.
And there was not a drop of fucking mortar or concrete in sight.
Yeah. Just goes to show it can be done. It can be done.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything that, like I would have said, like my pond's out of sleepers. That was a great idea, but now the way the price of everything have gone up, like Daz's koi farm, like he's built them out of them concrete posts and then concrete slabs, I think. And
the concrete posts and the concrete gravel boards. I think that's fucking genius.
Yeah, and it's a lot cheaper to do, because when I managed to speak to him, I said, how much did you pay for that? He says, well, they're offered jobs and that I already had, so he could only say as a rough figure. I think for each concrete post is about 10 quid, and I think each slab are about 8 quid or something. So that's not that bad going, really. Or like how it is, but in the ground pond works as well, which it does.
But like he says, if you're going to go half in, half out, you've got to make sure that those posts are at least 2 foot in the ground below the bottom of the waterline. Otherwise, it will move.
Or, like what Simon says then, or you go the more natural, where you've just basically dug it in the ground.
Yeah,
like I said, it's not wrong with them ponds. They're brilliant ponds.
And there is quite a few out there that look absolutely fucking amazing. But it's again, it's personal choice, isn't it? It's like choosing koi. Not everyone is going to like the same kahaku. Not everyone's going to like the same shower. You know what I mean? So it's not just fish taste that is personal preference. You know what I mean?
Well, like
some people look at what I've got, which is mostly out of the ground and into the ground, and they think that's just a box holding water. Whereas you have an in-ground pond, and that's just a hole with water. It's all semantics and the way you look at things, isn't it?
Yeah,
and everything's personal.
And then the question me and Dave were on about earlier, and I'd ask you the same question, is if you were going to go and pick a koi, what sort of would you go for? You know, like in your lip, would you go for the skin luster, etc.? And what order would you pick your personal koi if you were putting it in your main pond?
When I go for the main pond, on certain varieties, I am driven on pattern or sumi placement. But saying that, if the body isn't right, then that pattern's not gonna work out anyway. So it in my opinion, the first thing you've got to look at really is the body shape.
Yeah.
And then if the body shape's right and you like the pattern, then all well and good. But yeah, body shape first.
And then Stephen Hill put, "Hi Hall, enjoying the live. I'm building a 1,200 gallon raised pond. Should I go 3-inch or 4-inch bottom drain?" Well, Vince is probably your best bet because mine's pump fed system.
That all depends on what filter you're going to be putting on it. Now, so, if you're going to be, I was going to say and that was what I was going to say. If you're going to be running an easypod is 3-inch. So, and if you're only going to run the easypod, then I would do a 3-inch bottom drain.
There's your answer.
That's purely because it's filter driven. I mean, my main pond, I've got a 4-inch bottom drain on there, even though I'm running easypods, because to start off with, my main pond was running on a homemade filter that was all running through 4-inch standpipes and stuff. Hence why when I had to rebuild it, I left the 4-inch bottom drain in. I just relocated the pipe slightly, and it changes from 4-inch to 3-inch at the slide valve that is right on the entrance of the.
And then he says, "I was planning a 3-barrel system like GKP. So it'd be the same system as what Gaz's koi pond runs, and the same system as what Righty had. I can't remember anybody else, but ones like that have that."
Yeah, Mike from Gifters was running a 3-barrel system as well, wasn't he?
So you're going to do a gravity feed 3-barrel system, is I take it.
Right, sounds of it, yeah.
So yeah, if you're going to do a gravity feed 3-barrel system, then if depends on what size pump you want to put on the end of it. Because if you want to pour vast amounts of water through there to then chuck through over a shower, then I wouldn't recommend an easy pump. But you're building a bit 3-barrel one, so therefore, are you going for 1 static bed and 2 active beds, or are you going for 2 static beds and 1 active bed?
See, look, there's loads of you've opened up a can of worms
Yeah,
now, Steve.
this is what I'm saying. There is so many variables that take into consideration. I mean, on my growing on tank, even though I'm using an easy pod again, I've got a 4-inch bottom drain in the bottom of there, and that was only because Phil G was going to throw it out because it was the one that came out of his old pond because he bought a brand new one for his new build. So rather than throw it in a skip, I said, give it here, Mush. I'll use that on the new growing on tank. So I've got 4-inch bottom drain, 4 to 3 reducer to the easy pod, and then 3 to 4-inch slide valve on the easy pod coming out to the bio bin, and then 4-inch pipe work all the way through. But the reason I've got 4-inch pipe work is because I'm using an air pump to move the water through the filter system, and to get the most efficiency out of the airlift, you really need to use 4-inch pipe work. So it's a combination of using what I've got and necessity there.
And then you've got Seska, if I've said it right. I'm using 2 easy pods from a 4-inch drain. So then it'll be a 4-inch to 3-inch, because like you say, it's all 3-inch stuff.
You have to reduce the 4 to 3, but that reduction is always best just before you go into the easy pod.
Yeah.
Because if you've got your easy pod 3-inch in, and you've got your slide valve, and then you've got your 4-inch, there's no real restriction. Can you see what I mean when it comes to purging into the easy pod or anything? So it's not coming out the bottom drain. So it's not coming out the bottom drain, hitting a 90 and then reducing down and then going to a smaller bore. Can you see what I mean? If you've got the 4-inch pipe work coming all the way through till you hit that entrance point on the easy pod, then there's going to be no restriction whatsoever, as in back pressure, that you can get a bit of if you're reducing down from 4 to 3 too soon, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, because the longer you can not reduce your 4-inch, the better, because then when you come to your purging, you have it, like you said, then the pressure's there all the way up to the easy pod, then it makes it easier, like you said, when you're purging your lines as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then, like you said, Steve, if you put another comment on which way you want to do it, where 2 static beds, 1 moving, or 1 static, 2 moving, or what your plans are to put it into your barrel system, so we get a rough idea while Vince is still on, because I ain't got a clue when it comes to these things. I've just gone and bought, I started pressure filter, then I had the multi-bay, and I've just gone to a Nexus. So I did want to do a DIY thing, but the price was just too good to not take it, so I took them.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. Right?
It's all right. It says you've got both easy pods on yours anyway, haven't you, Dave? On both your systems.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
And then you've got a pressure on the other one, I think.
Yeah, a little pressure filter on the quarantine, but it's only a small body of water, and it is a quarantine. Obviously, you need to keep the regime of cleaning it correctly and everything, though. I know people call them death cans, but yeah, you got to watch them. You got to keep them clean.
And then Steve says, I was thinking 2 moving and 1 static. So that would that make his choices a bit easier?
What size barrels?
Right, so we're pretty simple, Steve. Right, you've said that pit, so now give what size barrels you're going to use,
Right.
and what sort of pump you're thinking of, so Vince can sort of
Looking
get a
at some of
gist.
the systems I've seen out there, and I've seen a couple of names flashed up. From what I can remember, most that I've seen run 2 static and then 1 active. Now, at the end of the day, whether you've got 2 static or 1, you're still going to get biological filtration from it.
Yeah,
whether it's static or it's active. The only good thing about the active side is because it's constantly moving, it's constantly sloughing off the dead stuff that's no longer needed, which then in turn becomes your fines. If you run in a double static, you've got more chance of catching them fines by the time it's gone through that second static bed to stop it from happening as much as it goes through, if that makes any sense. So you'll get your natural slough off from the movement, but that's all you'll get because you'll be stopping 90% of it in the 2 static beds. Can you see what I mean?
I get what you mean, because you're catching more chance of catching your fines, but you've still got your biological. Because the easiest way is a lot of people have seen an easypod, and obviously that's on a static media. So, and if that's the only system you got on your pond, if that's not biological as well, then you obviously nitrates just be through the roof, won't they?
Yeah, well, if it only done mechanical filtration, why does so many koi dealers around the world use them to run on small systems with lots amounts of fish in them? Because they not only do mechanical, but they do biological filtration as well. The only problem is if you are going to have large amounts of fish in a small body of water with an easy pod, just be prepared to clean the fucker every day.
Yeah.
It's plain and simple. Like, you know, it's any logistics. But you take into consideration the amount that's in an easy pod. Now, if you're putting in 3 barrels, in effect, you've got 3 easy pods worth of media there. So you've got 2 ways to get around that to make them to fool the body of water to think that it's bigger than it is once the temperatures and everything's right and the feeding goes up and whatnot. Is I would, if that was me personally, and this is just my personal view, if it was me and I was building that system, I would put the first chamber as static, but I would have normal static K1 in there. The second one I would make micro static, and then the bio bin I would make micro K1. Purely because you can get more micro K1 in comparison to normal K1, which would then in turn double your biological side. But I've also noticed after switching to micro K1 on one of the easy pods on the main pond that it does tend to clean down to a finer particle.
Yeah, so you're getting the best of
both. And I think that is because of how small it is and the fact that you can get more in there.
Yeah.
Can you see what I mean? So the more you get in there, the more that stuff has got to try and get through it before it stops.
Yeah.
And then anything that's fine, then goes through your active and then ends up back in the pond, which then gets picked back up on the way back through.
Well, I'm hoping, Steve, you got the gist of that and the link was there. So if you did want to come on, so you could sort of say a bit more, or if you don't, if you dropped it in the comments. But see, we learned something new. If you didn't know, we learned something new near enough every other live on DT's channel. Because I didn't know bits like that. And that's why in my Nexus, I've got K1, I've got K1 Plus, I've got a bit of KK 3000, I think it is. So I've got a mixture of all sorts in my moving bed in the Nexus, and it works.
In my bio chamber and the EasyPod for the main pond, they both have a mixture of, I think it's K1, micro K1, K3. There's some stickle bricks in the bio bin. There's old bio balls from Def Cans and whatnot, and old the old tropical filters, little pressure cans and plastic media out of it. You'll probably find some of that in there as well. If it's plastic and it's got surface area and floats, you can put it in a moving bed. I've seen plenty of moving beds that are run solely on bottle tops.
Wow. It's your normal bottle top.
Just your normal common Coke bottle top. But
wow,
you can increase the surface area of that bottle top. And you've got two ways of doing that. And that's one with a soldering iron or with a drill and a small drill bit.
Yeah, so then you've got more holes for the bacteria to live on then, aren't you?
Well, every hole you put in it, you're actually increasing the surface area of the lid.
Yeah.
So if you peppered that with holes, you could effectively say that you've doubled the surface area of that one lid.
And that was a good catch then, because I thought you were going to drop it. Oh no!
And it's plastic and it floats. So you've got a bin full of Coke bottle lids that have got lots of holes drilled in them. Have fun sitting there drilling through them, mine. But yeah, cheap, effective, works. You look at some of the filters that are run at New Forest Koi Farm. You know, Koi Farm's been going 30 years plus now, and some of their filters, some of their biological filters, are made out of baling twine.
And that's definitely taking it back to basics, that, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can't get no simpler than that. And that is literally just strands and strands of baling twine folded in half and knotted in big bundles and then trickled over the top. And that's something they've been using for donkey's years, and they still use it now. And they're, like I say, they're a koi farm that's been going 30 plus years. So what does that tell you?
That it works then, doesn't it?
But this is it. It doesn't have to be expensive.
No, which we've always said, it's whatever you could cater to your budget, and then you just make it work around whatever you can afford to do it. Like you say, your filter system doesn't have to cost loads when you've obviously.
It can still work well enough and effective enough to be able to keep and maintain high quality koi. Yeah.
And then Steve H says, thanks for that's a food for thought. And then
yeah, if you want any help, just drop me a message.
And then Simon Shears, I bought a 3 meter, 75 centimeter width, 1 meter high, Mana 4, I think Mana 4 bay, 425 quid, but added a sieve to a static sponge, jack matting, and then 2 moving beds, then a 4th bay to floss and
an amalgam UV. So a UV that doesn't need a case. You know, these ones that they could just chuck in the filter.
Well, similar to what you have.
Yeah, a bit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what else did he say? Then he put us use bottle tops and scrubber pads.
The USA use, you know, the plastic, you know, the plastic Brillo pads you can get.
Yeah, them silver things.
Yeah. Well, you can get them in plastic, can't you? Over in the States, they call them scrubbers, and they love them over there. They fill up big fucking bins full of them and shower pond water over them. But they make perfect biological filtration. Again, it's all about surface area.
Yeah. And evening group enjoying the chat, and as usual, I agree with Humbercoy. Shop around and buy a decent second-hand kit. Easy to routinely clean. And honestly, how many koi keepers have or have had easypods? Well, I can honestly say, Rob, I haven't had an easypod. I went for the pressure filter, and then eventually realised for the amount of koi I had in at the time that it wasn't good enough. But it did the job. But when I added a few more koi in, that it was keeping up. But I thought when these get bigger, it's not going to work as well. I got a multi-bay, which is a brilliant bit of kit. And if I had my hose pipe in my back garden, not having to go through the house, then I would have kept it, because it would take me 2.5 hours to clean, because I went to put the hose pipe all the way through the house. It was just a right nightmare. And then now I've got a Nexus where I just basically put it in, say, well, it's the exact same as an easypod, isn't it? In a sense.
Well, what you've got in your Nexus, I've got with my easypod and bio bin.
Yeah.
Just not in one place. You've got one sat next to the other.
So it's whatever you can
Because all
fit
an
in.
easypod is that bit in the middle of the Nexus.
Yeah. They just shove it all into one.
The outer ring is your bio.
Yeah.
The only difference is I've got an easypod as that centre bit, and then a normal 80-litre dustbin as my bio chamber.
Yeah. It all works the exact same, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You could tell by the fish in your pond that it does work. And then Simon put plus ANC. I have a full static KK 5000V brushes, a jack matting which has a Tempest at the beginning, and I've got a backy shower. Blooming naughty. You must be really overfiltered then, Simon, with that. And then you've got that on top of that. But it depends, like I say, it depends how big your pond is. And I suppose it's one of them. You can never over-filtrate your pond. Just, I bet you don't clean all that in one go, though, do you? Imagine trying to do all that. You wouldn't even have time to do anything else, would you? You'd be cleaning that all day. And you're like, right, it's tea time now. Have your tea. And then back to it again. And then I'm late. Simon, Anthony Boris. Sorry, I'm late. Sorry. What have I missed? You've missed most of the. Oh. Well, we've been on about. I was about to say, when you were on about Kahakus, I nearly went, oh, sorry, Dave, you didn't get that 4-step, did you? But I thought, no, I can't be tight no more.
No, sore point. I really wanted that fish, but wasn't to be. And well done to Anthony for beating me on the roll of the dice. It's the way it goes, and we share it.
And then Simon says then when I were on about cleaning it, I said, only got to clean the small KK 5000 and the main static bed on the Manor Bay. Rest is free of poo. But it's not just about the poo, though, is it? Because you've got other fines, leaf debris, and other bits like that. Because like on my Nexus. Here we go. Bit of quietness while he finishes.
If your mechanical filtration is good enough, you shouldn't be getting anything into the outer ring of your Nexus or your bio chamber, whatever it may be.
But that's the thing. It doesn't with a lot of the Nexuses, because of the way the air ring is, and it doesn't go both ways. I thought the exact same. A moving bed would obviously not have the muck in it, but mine, I emptied it out about a month ago, and I took all the media out, drained it, and there were little bits of muck here and there because obviously the air pipe only faces upwards rather than both ways.
That's why you've got a drain for the bio chamber as well. That is below that air ring. The whole point of the air ring is the air goes up, which it pushes the water up, which draws the shit down below the air ring, ready to be flushed to waste. So if you're doing a proper clean on your Nexus, you clean out your easy section 3-4 times, however many times you do it. And then if you really want to be thorough, you'd drop the bottom of the Nexus, which would push by rights that shit that's collected on the bottom out to waste. Hence why you got a little gap.
Well,
Same on the air ring and the inside bit as well.
I used to do it twice. Well, I've only had it about 6 months, so I'm going to do it like I've done the spring clean. I don't know what's going into winter, but now I might do it once a month just to make sure the outer one is a bit cleaner, but not flush it all, but just flush enough to try and get what's at the bottom out.
Because if memory serves right, on the Nexus, on the centerpiece, the air ring to clean the center is actually underneath on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, that is because you've got a big gap below that, haven't you, then, to the bottom, where everything really settles out.
Yeah.
And the principle is the same again. You've got the bottom of the easy section, the air is underneath, the air gets forced through, which then creates the tumbling motion on the static side, which pushes all the shit out, doesn't it?
Yeah, because that's the whole point of when you're cleaning it, isn't it?
Because you're not pushing water through it, that water is constantly doing that sort of motion.
Yeah.
So what the idea is the air ring is in that middle section, so that as the shit is pushed out the top, it comes down and settles out, because that's going to be heavier than the clean water that's going to be sucked back up to be pushed through again.
There we go. We're hopefully, as well as me, we're all learning something again.
Yeah.
See, it's just that. And then
sorry,
it disappears. Well,
it's the same as the easypod, though, isn't it? I mean, the outer ring, the vortex side of it, you need to flush that round with the hose pipe down to waste anyway, because if you leave it, it just sits in the bottom, doesn't it, Vince?
Yeah.
And then Tony says, Dave, 4-step is really good. Dave, you can have it if you want it for 200 quid. We're a load of laughing faces.
He's a lad, that Tony, isn't he, with that 4-step.
And then that Simon says, no. I've checked over a long period, and the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th bays stay clean, DT. Well, when I had my multi-bay, that had 1, 2, 3. When that had 4, I had to clean the 2 mechanical obviously twice a week, and then I had to clean the moving bed once every other week, because the muck would actually sit at the bottom of it, and it would just not very nice.
What Simon isn't telling you, though, he's not running no little small homemade sieve. He's actually got a fucking great huge proper sieve sat on top of his multi-bay, feeding the multi-bay through that sieve.
And that's where you get most of your crap where it's gone before it's even. Yeah, it's one of them EA sieves, isn't it? Where it's about not that wide, about this big.
It's one of he sent me a couple of pictures of it before he put it together, and just in pieces it looked fucking mahoosive. And yeah, he's got that planted on top of his multi-bay, feeding his multi-bay. So yeah, if much gets through that sieve, I'll be fucking surprised. And no wonder his M-bays are spotless.
Oh, there you go.
Is that a Cetus sieve he's got on that, Vince, or has he made it?
It was, he'll have to put it up in the comments. It was an Aqua Summit.
There you go. Drop it in there. And then, well, we're on subject to filters and stuff. If anybody does want to ask a question to Senior, Junior, well, me, or Vince, then just drop it in the comments. And like I said, we'll answer it as best as we can. And then we could, like I said, take it from there. Because if not, then we'll wrap the show up soon. And then Simon Shears just put twisted.
See,
what emoji that is. and laughing faces.
Told you.
Martin's Koi Pond and Garden. Hi, Vince. Thanks for the koi ID yesterday. Much appreciated, brother.
Anytime, mother.
See, what knowledge, we've all got. We always help one another out where we can. And that's what it's about, isn't it?
That makes me warm and fuzzy inside.
And then because before it goes, Air Aqua Super Sieve, 325 quid. How much for a sieve?
That's cheap.
That is mega cheap.
I think I might go your DIY sieve.
Have you seen the price of the Evolution Aqua Cetus sieve?
Yeah.
No, but again, that's cheap. I don't think
that's an even bigger piece of kit than what this Air Aqua one is. That thing is huge.
Yeah.
I dread to think then, because I'd rather go DIY like you and have a little sieve, because I don't think I could afford one that's like 500 quid, because I'll get daggers, because she sat on the sofa watching me, and I think I've got daggers coming at me.
You can feel the warmth coming, can't you, from the
but on the right ear, not the left one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I'll if you drop it in the comments with any questions you want to ask us, because if not, then I'll wrap the show up at 9:15, which ain't a bad time in neither, really, because then we'd have been going for an hour and 15, which ain't too bad. And then Seska says, I'm off to bed, shattered after working. Oh,
I'll tell you what, Seska, that pond is looking sweet. Those two have done some fucking awesome block work. It does. It looks professional when you look at the videos and the pictures. I'm lucky I've got a preview.
Seska, have you been today?
I don't know. I suppose that's a privilege you've got, because people like to send you their updates before it even gets to the wider for on YouTube.
But yeah, Seska and Rennie are doing an absolutely spanking job building that pond. The concrete blocks are going down fast and furious now, and won't be long. Soon be up and running, Seska. And then
then you'll get a visit as well, then, won't you? Because you're looking after their fish as well, aren't you?
Yeah, she can come down and collect her. Hey, hang on a minute. I've just thought. Now, this ain't fair, because if you end up winning the Beat the Breeder, because I did it for you.
So there you go, Seska. You've got a head start. You got Vince's stuff, so you never know. He might accidentally keep it. Who knows? But
yeah, we've got Seska's Deutsche Amateurnische growing show here, and we've also got the two Mark Gardner Kikasuis. One belongs to Seska and the other one belongs to Rennie. And yeah, they're looking awesome, girls. They are looking awesome, and they're feeding well as well. So,
and like I said, obviously I don't like to repeat what goes on Gaz's live show, but a lot more people have actually started reaching out and looking at Mark Gardner's videos, because they're all on YouTube for people to watch. And to be honest, up until when you were talking about it, I didn't have no clue until
absolutely
you said
phenomenal content. I'm telling you. If you just want to have a binge on koi, and someone who was absolutely passionate about koi, irrespective of whether it was Japanese, American, Israel, he just lived and breathed koi. Go and check out Mark Gardner's channel.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll see if I can find it and I'll put it in the comments. Not like people might have already seen it, but if they haven't, then
yeah, go and have a binge, because there is some stunning videos there and some stunning fish. Absolutely.
What was his channel called? It was Nishikoi Life, wasn't it? Mark's channel.
No, Mark's channel. I'm sure it was NTV. It went under.
It did go under NTV, but I think he called it Nishikoi Life. I've been watching a lot of them lately, and the guy's phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. And a very sad loss to the koi community, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah,
And then
100%. 100%.
And then Simon's put one of the first I watched was about 2018, 2019. And then you've got Seska laughing. And then Tony put hashtag 17 is now 25 cm with laughing faces. It's feeding it's the feeding tube down its throat. That's what's doing it.
Yeah, keep dreaming. Keep dreaming, Tone. Keep dreaming. Told you. The winning fish with the beat the breeder is going to be number 10.
Oh, God, here we go. But it is one of them. That's why I do the Gathered Grower Show, because it gives you something else to talk to one another about, because you've all got the same sort of breed koi and how much the old developer changed.
It's not just having the same breed koi. It's the communication and everything else that goes with it, you know. And you don't just build communities, you build friendships, and that's what it's about.
If I wasn't doing this on a Saturday night now, I'd be sat watching something boring on telly. And like I said, through the koi community and the koi tubers, you know, like speak to you often, speak to Dave, obviously Gaz, a few others, you know, and it's building friendships through the koi community. And then through that, then you find out you've got more hobbies in common than just the fish. And it expands then, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Because otherwise I'll be a boring fight in front of telly.
I mean, Lynn's sorry, Vince. Lynn's actually sat in the other room there watching us on the chat on the telly. That's how much she's into it, Mark.
Well, I'm trying to get out.
She's waving back, Vince.
And then Skeggy goes, only 25, Tony, will surely mean 250. And then Seska goes, you wait until number 21 gets in my heated pond with a winky face.
Seska, you got to finish building the motherfucker first, girl.
It's just a disposable vape, Stallion. It's not a Cuban cigar. I don't smoke cigars. Not a chance.
No, only men smoke cigars.
Don't make me cough.
I laughed in it background, and I actually then got it. Then I'm like, you bastard. But yeah, like I say, I'll ask it one last time. If anybody does have any comments for one of us three, then drop it in the comments. Or if you want to jump on live and have a quick chat with us on live, then I'll post the link. And I'll give you a few minutes to do that. And then if not, then we'll definitely wrap the show up, because I still need to have my tea as well, because I got the kids' tea done.
I was just about to say, you haven't fed them kids yet.
The kids got fed first.
I'll let you have that one.
But for some reason, they're going to look like in pasta and cheese. And then a Fairland last evening, guys. Hope everyone has a good weekend. And thanks to Vince, I actually found your channel out through that way, if it's the right person I'm thinking of. Which I believe
I'm subscribed.
And then Tony back.
She not only has hang on a minute. Oh, are you going, Tony?
Vince Tillman is doing a solo show in London in December. I had that one. And then, like I said, now this conversation has become the Vince's live on some. But this is what it's about. The show just goes anywhere it needs to go.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go, Tony. Answer the question.
Well,
you said, are you going?
Oh, you were talking to Tony. I thought you were talking to me then.
Yeah, it was. That's why I put Vince.
Till Lindemann, he's the lead singer of Rammstein.
Oh, don't tell me it's ones where they scream all the time.
No,
So you can't hear what
no.
they're saying because they're just screaming. I'm like, oh, I can't be doing with that sort of rock. That's too much.
You wouldn't understand them. They're sprachen sie Deutsch.
Well, no, then I certainly don't understand. And then he just replied then by saying, no, he's not going.
Got me all excited then.
But what's for tea? Well, Aaron, I haven't got a Scooby-Doo. It's
But
something in the
thank you,
freezer.
Tony. I will look into that. Sorry, Dave. My apologies.
It's all right. It's just I'll be having something out of the freezer, not special, not a takeaway. But and I think on that note, guys, I think we'll wrap up the show. It's been nice to have you both on, seeing you, and obviously the Twisted One. So on that note, guys, you all have a great weekend, and don't forget we've got Monday off as well. And on that note, guys, keep calm, keep coy, and I'll catch you on a fortnight for the next live show. And then I'll try and end it with the dog knocking me over on the way.